This video explains where Africa's emerging tech hubs are rising, why they matter, and what investors, founders, and developers should watch next. It covers 4 shifts: the weakening monopoly of the established startup markets, the rise of Francophone West African Fintech, the growth of North African deep tech, and the southern corridor for green technology. For a decade, Africa's technology story has been told through a handful of familiar names: Lagos, Nairobi, Cairo, Cape Town, Johannesburg. But that story is changing, and the next chapter is being written in cities most investors have never visited. First, the established markets. In 2025, African tech startups raised $4.1 billion, up 25% in a single year. Kenya led with just over $1 billion. South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria followed. Together, these 4 captured nearly 3/4 of all capital. They are not dying, but their monopoly is weakening. Founders in Lagos and Nairobi now face crowded markets, rising costs, and fierce competition for engineers. Dominance, it turns out, is not the same as monopoly, so a third path is opening. Not migrating abroad, not struggling in saturated capitals, but building from cities the world previously ignored, closer to real problems, at lower cost, with clearer unmet needs. Africa does not need one Silicon Valley, it needs many connected corridors. Corridor 1, Francophone West Africa. For years, English-speaking markets took the headlines. That gap is now closing, and it is measurable. Outside the Big Four, Francophone Africa captured 68% of equity funding in 2025. Senegal was one of only 3 countries beyond the leading markets to raise more than $50 million in equity, and it ranked 4th on the entire continent for debt funding, powered largely by Wave mobile money. Dakar and Abidjan sit at the intersection of language, ports, mobile money, and regional trade. Their opportunity is not local, it is regional. Behind that rise sits a hard problem: cross-border payments. Traditional channels can cost up to 1/5 of a transaction's value and take days to clear. The Pan-African payment and settlement system is changing that, with instant payments settled in local currencies. In 2026, its partnership with Kenya's Pesalink connected more than 80 financial institutions to over 160 banks and fintechs across the continent. For a trader moving goods between Abidjan and Dakar, this is not convenience, it is survival. Corridor 2, North Africa, where the story is deep technology. Cairo has scale, engineers, universities, and Africa's 3rd largest funding market. Casablanca has industrial depth, automotive plants, logistics, and clean manufacturing. But honesty matters here. Africa holds a significant share of the world's critical minerals, yet contributes less than 1% of global semiconductor output. The realistic prize is not chip fabrication overnight. It is chip design, assembly, testing, mineral processing, and engineering services, moving from outsourcing to intellectual property. Corridor 3, the Southern Green Technology Belt. Africa installed a record 4.5 gigawatts of solar in 2025, a 54% jump and the fastest growth of any region. South Africa led, Nigeria and Egypt followed, and Zambia added 139 megawatts, joining the mid-sized markets on the rise. Morocco is already developing one of the continent's most significant battery gigafactory projects at Kenitra, worth $1.3 billion in its first phase. The lesson for Lusaka and Windhoek is clear. Do not export raw minerals and buy back finished technology. Build the storage, the grid analytics, the monitoring software, and the maintenance systems yourselves. And this is the part funding charts never show. Unreliable electricity closes shops, spoils medicine, and ends study at sunset. Expensive payments quietly tax the smallest traders. When technology fixes these things, it is not a headline, it is a livelihood. That is the measure these new hubs should be judged by. Local usefulness first, export potential second. For investors and founders, 6 tests separate substance from hype. How deep is the problem being solved? Which sector does the city genuinely lead? Does policy, from the African Continental Free Trade Area to PPS, work in its favor? Are costs efficient? Is the infrastructure real? And crucially, who owns the value that gets created? This video has shown that Lagos and Nairobi are not finished, but the map is bigger now. Dakar, Abidjan, Cairo, Casablanca, Lusaka, Windhoek. Across Francophone Fintech, North African Deep Tech and the Southern Green Corridor, Africa's opportunity is not to imitate old technology models. It is to build a different one, decentralized, problem-led, trade-enabled and rooted in lived African realities. For independent analysis of Africa's business, technology and investment landscape, subscribe to AfricaInfoBase.